if you ever got to pull the engine. All quick disconnect. Whoa. Is that seawater? Look at this, dude. This is the most disgusting car I've ever touched. The day is finally here that it is time to shift our gears into plumbing. There's a lot of things that need to be plumbed, and now everything is generally placed where it's going to be. So, with how many different systems that I'm plumbing, water, oil, power steering, brakes, fuel, there's a lot of different fittings, and Vibrant Performance, their catalog is very extensive. It's unbelievable the amount of different fittings that they have, and I'm guaranteeing you they make some stuff that you've never even heard before. An AN converted swivel type O-ring Type 90. It's like it's endless. Take a look at the catalog. You'll get lost on their website for hours like I do. Not only do they have amazing fabrication components, but the plumbing stuff is top notch, and this stuff is all PTFE lined. I figured if you're gonna do it once. It'll be done for life. And I mean, just look at the sheer assortment of fittings that we have here. Boxes and bags of lines, all different sizes, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 16. We're going up to 16 because the water system's all 16 in this. All different kinds of weld bungs. This stuff was really, really cool. So yes, I got some steel weld bungs, always need that. Aluminum line holders, so freaking nice. The billet P-clamp, so it's not just some aluminum one with insulation. These are nice line holders, all kinds of line separators. I got some tools, look at these. And line cutters, the real freaking deal right here, dude. Real deal. And what I'm real happy about, AN line wrenches. I've had the same set of AN wrenches since I started building AN lines when I was like 18, 19 years old, something like that. So finally time to upgrade and replace them. These are way nicer, way nicer. Anyways, what we're gonna do first is lay all this stuff out on the table, make sense of it all, and then start placing the fitting where we know that it's going to go. Oil cooler gets a 90. Oil feed coming into the pump needs a 45. Oil pan fittings get 120s. All of that. We'll place it, then we'll finally open up the hose and start building the line. Look at this. Look at that. Well, this is what I've been looking for. Soft jaws for the vise. Clip them onto your vise because it's magnetic. Boom, boom. And you put your AN fitting in there and you can crank on it without destroying the finish. All the AN line here assembled, smaller to big. Even got some rubber. I like to use rubber for some of the coolers and the reservoirs for power steering because that's just a barb fitting. Adjustable wrench, you guys didn't see this earlier. I think at this time means get to work. That's what needs to happen. Let's go. So I got these to go under the bulkhead, placing it right on the Aeromotive water pump. Boom. And then this guy will run right to the bulkhead that Alec is putting in right there. Nice curve. Because this is going to run along the frame rail and meet this one up right to the bulkheads. 90 and a 150. See, I might even decide to change my mind and put a 90 8th NPT and then do a 90 fitting so it runs around. I don't know. I might change my mind. We'll see. This is for the expansion tank. It'll go in here, run along the back of the wiper, and then pop out right here. Oh, I think this is supposed to be either a 45 or a 30, not a 90.
Started from the water pump, through to the bulkhead. Now these two 90s, they're into the cabin, and then they're gonna run down the floor to those two bulkheads in the back.
Okay. What I really, really enjoy about the PTFE product line on Vibrant Performance is the variety of fittings. So normally, most fitting companies have a 45 degree, and that does most of your plumbing. But maybe you want a 30. But maybe you also need a 60, and I don't know which one, so I got all three, and I'm gonna figure out the exact angle that I want to pitch up and run along the upper fender mount, but then also stay away from this wheel and tire and suspension at the same time. Might be a 30, might be a 60. Oh, I didn't see these ones on the inside.
Yep.
Oh,
Look at that. You can see the snake.
You're right. I understand what you're talking about. Like now you can see the snaky doodah, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Damn, that looks good with these 90s here. I'm a big spares guy, right? So I can't only have the exact number of 90-degree -16 fittings, because when this thing's on the track and I'm in the field and I run into something or puncture or break a fitting, or Alex stands on something that he shouldn't be standing on and it breaks the fitting, I need to be able to fix the line or the fitting or whatever. So we have spares. We're covered. That's right.
So soft jaws, super duper sick, because when you go to clamp everything down,
Yeah.
nothing
Lots of
messes
numbers on it.
up. Nothing gets scratched.
Old tank in time.
5-minute hand wrench is a little loose on these guys.
Oh, because the bulkheads are never the thing.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, that's for the fitting. They give us an adjustable wrench for the bulkhead.
Well, see, the adjustable one doesn't work for the front bulkheads.
Oh, because you can't get in there?
You can't get in there. I guess that's our fault.
The back one would come this way, and then the middle one would be going
Over here.
right.
That's just weird that the middle one would go over here, in my opinion, but maybe that's fine.
Don't you think?
Yeah, it's more direct. I like that. It's much
short.
It's
Way
much
short.
cleaner and shorter.
We
yeah.
have been getting freaking after it with the plumbing. You can see the bench is getting thinner. Still a lot on there, yes, but there's a lot of empty bags too. Let me go over what we have done so far. Plumbed the water lines up to there. That took a lot of time to get these exactly right. I did some figuring of some things. We placed all of the fittings, which you guys have already seen that pretty much. And now we're starting to build the lines. So we have some lines on the fuel cell itself, and we are starting to get that built. Right now we're working on the regulator return. So from the regulator back to the tank, we're waiting for Alec to, oh, you already put it on the line. Nice.
Yeah, actually, I did.
Nice. Cool.
First thing this morning.
Cool. Going to be putting the tank up and then figuring where a couple of things want to go. We'll probably also, since Alec is attaching, this is the vent line right here, the 16. Since he's attaching the vent, I need to figure out where it's going to go up there in that corner. So might as well figure that out, and we'll be able to knock that out here shortly too. Got the tank up and got these trimmed to length. So this is the regulator here. This is the return from the fuel rails to the regulator. That will go into the tank. This is the feed, so that needs to get mounted. You guys probably can't see. There we go. That's the feed that'll attach to the regulator. And one thing we got to figure out is this freaking big dog. Where's it gonna run? Up, sideways, there, I don't know yet. So figure out where that's gonna run, and because we're doing the fuel system, it works perfect. Fuel injectors just showed up, so that means I can machine the rails to be the right height for the regulator, and I'm gonna machine some off the front of it so that I have some room up in there, because you guys can kind of see way up there, right there. Yeah, it's gonna be close. So I'm hoping I can machine some off the front of the rails and be able to put some fittings in there. Okay, more tire temp sensors, this time the rear. I looked at these tabs and wasn't sure, would they be perfect, would they not be lined up? So I put the body panels on. Yeah, it's black. Come on, of course you guys already knew it was black, right? I'm not spoiling anything. Of course it's freaking black. Anyways, I put the tire up here, flush-ish, and would you know it, those tabs are lined up perfectly for the tire. So I already have 3 places where I can mount the tire temp sensors. It's a no-brainer. Of course I'm gonna put them there. Now I just gotta figure out, do I want down here, do I want here, or do I want here? Going here. Huh. It's gonna be close. Adrian with the coil pack bracket. Look at that. Look at that slot. Nice TIG welded. Show them, where's the coil packs? That's on the engine mount, exactly kind of how the C8 had it stock. Ooh, look at that. Let me see. Perfect. Hell yeah. And that sucker is, yeah, up in there. So we'll put this side back on, pull the other side off, weld the other coil pack bracket, then the coil packs will be done. Tabs, welding, lots. Okay, the time has come to modify the C8 front cross member. Kind of been putting this off because it's a lot of work, it's a lot of hours, cutting, grinding, welding, a lot of it. So I have the instructions from Chris right here on where we're gonna be cutting things. This plane, see? Have another one. Once we have the mounts, where they're gonna be. So Chris has sent me all the instructions. I have those on my phone. Now it is time to mark out the cutting area. Then I will open up the box, which I haven't even done, that has all the plates from cage kits, the laser cut and CNC broken aluminum plates for the C6 rack, and then we'll get to going. But first I'm gonna chop this out, and I believe I need to cut here and here and here and here. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna mark this out, get cutting, and make a giant mess. Time to open up the Cage Kits box. Haven't even seen what's in here, but we saw on Chris's instructions that we know exactly how it should go. Cage Kits, freaking awesome. They've done all of the CNC tube notching and CNC bending on the tube, but also all of the laser cutting on the plate, and then the CNC brake bending on that plate for the entire car. All the suspension, all the little pieces for bash bars, and oh look, damn. Should have opened this a while ago. Okay, check it out. There is also rear bash bar plates. These are steel ones that are gonna get nuts welded to them. The aluminum ones are in here somewhere. Oh, cool, all right. So yeah, this is a nut plate that goes inside of it. Yeah, inside of the chassis. I'll show you guys, those are cool. We'll deal with those later. But this is what we need for the cross member here. This is the big, important piece. What we were watching for with Chris, see that? The bolt holes will line up there and there. Yes, perfectly. And that's how we know that we're squared and center and all of that. And then after that, we can get this clamped and tacked and all of that. So I'm gonna unravel these suckers here and maybe find some hardware to drop in here, and then yeah, kind of get it all fit up. I'm gonna bolt this sucker down. Got to refer to my manual here.
You're going to distinguish which ones are the left and right tabs. This fixed one is very close to this ramp.
Okay, now I got it. This goes here, yeah, because this would not make sense for that, because the holes don't freaking line up. So that and that. A little hammer. Wow, nice. I was gonna clamp it and weld it first, but I think I'll set these on and just kind of throw some bolts through and make sure it's all happy. Got this thing sitting flat in most of the places. Can't get it right on the back flat. So I'm gonna tack this side and then switch the clamps over. And then just got off the phone with Chris. He was saying we should probably put it in the car and make sure that it comes in and out. That's smart. Because I have to trim something or move something now. I mean, it should. It comes out in the computer in CAD, but we should make sure. Oh, and then I got to do one more thing. He told me to put washers underneath here so we have a little bit of width for pulling it in and out before I go to weld it. We'll get those washers and do some tacking. Just put the cross member up and in for the first time. I'm going to try to take the rack out with cross member in. Important part here. You know, when you go to, how it's going to be with all the suspension and everything in. Thank you. It freaking works. Okay, I have a bunch of stuff back from Grom Racing. heads, intake manifold, air box, valve cover, and I have a big box of vibrant parts. So right now, that means it is time to start transitioning into some plumbing stuff. But before that, I'm gonna set the head on the intake manifold because lots of stuff that's gonna get plumbed is gonna be around that. And of course, I'm excited to see because I've never had these heads in my possession. Pretty exciting. Obviously, they're not complete and 100% done and all of that, but these are just for mock-up so that we can make sure that the intake manifold fits because I got a new throttle cable assembly, bell crank, throttle linkage stuff. So I'd like to see how that's gonna work, but all that means is we gotta set the heads on, intake manifold, see how it fits. Heavy, big dogs. Got your side? Yep. To grab the runners. Look at all this stuff and look at this drawing. Wow. It's crazy how complex and like complicated this stuff is for the bell crank, for the throttle linkage, and it's not that expensive. I think Matt said it was only like 160 bucks. I'm gonna go ahead and assemble this per their illustration here and then kind of see what it looks like on the intake manifold. Bell crank! This is the instructions?
I wouldn't call them instructions.
What is this? Did you guys see it? Show them that. This is hand drawn, dude.
Yeah, dude.
This is awesome.
I'm gonna put this together like their picture and see kind of what we have to do with it.
Tiny parts make Alec angry. We bring this guy in. How is he going to do all this? Tiny stuff, huh? Probably all standard too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All standard. All a pain in the butt.
Yeah, all standard. All right. Well,
That was difficult, but kind of figure out a process to do it faster. Now to figure out which way the linkages go, get it set on the manifold so we can make sure that everything's oriented correctly and that it will pull the throttles open. The throttles that they show on Quartermaster's website and in all the images have like a single flapper. This has two, obviously, so in total 4 going opposing directions inside of the housing. So I don't know how that's gonna work. I guess we'll see once I get this thing assembled, but that's the first step. So just like tow arms, for example, you have a normal right-hand thread and you have a left-hand thread on the other side. That way, when you adjust it, it doesn't just scooch around and it actually gets longer and shorter to make adjustments to the throttle control. That's nifty, I like that a lot. Okay, so assembling this thing was quite the chore with all the little tiny bits and pieces. It's hard to fit tools in. It's hard to get everything to go through. And on these like racing products like this, you know, not everything is completely drilled through like to the correct size for the bolt. So it definitely requires a little bit of cleanup and finesse to make sure that everything is working out perfect.
Alec is getting the bell crank throttle assembly dialed in. There's a lot to learn and figure out, but check this out. I think we'll be able to mount this onto the side of the fuel rail and then that will actuate. Pretty cool. But we're gonna get some space washers to space it up because I'm waiting for my NOS nitrous plate to show up. But that would be cool because we'll be able to fit that in there. And I think it'll help us with everything, figure out where the standoffs are. But in the meantime, I want to show you guys this. So you see all the rod lock for the battery bulkhead, right? This is what I use in the rear right here. Right, that's for the alternator and the starter. Alternator for this car actually showed up, so I'll put this in too. There's the heads sitting on there. Anyways, this, you guys saw this. Now look at this. This is a stud for this. Yo, and this is 1015, which is the thread of many blocks. I told Tyson what I was gonna do. I was just gonna massacre this, and old Tyson was like, no, you idiot, they sell this, and here it is. So I'm thinking this will go somewhere right here. Look at that. And then that is the engine block ground, because this will just go boom. Wow. And then yeah, the ground will go somewhere. Here's my ground cable. I have yet to finish it, but yeah, maybe it goes up and in and down or what, but that is pretty sweet. And then yeah, just as simple as pulling that off, pulling those off. If you ever got to pull the engine, all quick disconnect. Let's do it again. Oh, sick.